Next run coming up by Kinnin, Kirby, Planet Robobot. Take it away.
Thank you very much, Mies. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Kirby Planet Robobot Meta Nightmare Returns. This is the third Meta Nightmare sub-game in the Kirby series. And it's the second one I run. I don't actually run the first one because well, it's really difficult. Let me put it that way. Anyway, without much further ado, I'm gonna start up the game. It's gonna be on the timer starts on the third image. Once I press A on that one, I'll get you started on that one. 1, 2, and 3, 2, 1, start. So in Meta Nightmare Returns, you play as the titular Meta Knight. And you basically go through just about all of the levels that Kirby has gone through in the main game, except you are way stronger, faster, and everything than Kirby. The idea of the game is basically that the sub-game is to try and beat the game as quickly as possible. If you look on the bottom timer, on the bottom screen, you can see a little timer there as well. This timer is really neat because it actually removes loads natively. So we don't have to use any load remover or whatever, and it's really nice. Another thing you might notice on the bottom screen is a point system. So you see a certain amount of points, and you see like 4 little tiles. Those are like powers you can use as Meta Knight. I just activated one earlier. It's called Meta Quick. It's going to be the one we use the most. It basically speeds up Meta Knight a lot. So you see that all those little circles behind me. That means that I have it activated. Whoop. There we go. Over here we've got Bandanity and giving us a bunch of points. So all the little blue balls you see flying around, those are points. Yes, you can laugh at blue balls, I don't mind. And here is the next power. This is Galaxia Darkness. It basically deals a lot of damage in a straight line. And we are using it to quickly try and kill this Mecha Woods. And then another Meta Quick. So a nice thing about this game is in the previous Meta Nightmare, you had to exclusively use the touchscreen to activate the powers. But in this version, they gave Meta Quick and Heal. They gave it a button, which is an amazing quality of life. It makes running this so much easier. There we go. So one of the moves you're seeing me use a lot is this one. This is the shuttle loop. It basically allows me to very quickly move around and get defeat enemies, which basically is the best thing to do because you want to get as many points as you can throughout every single room. And shuttle loop is really useful for that. Another thing about shuttle loop is during the loop, it actually deals a lot of damage. So during boss fights, you'll probably see me using it a lot as well. The other move is this side dash. You really only use it... Oh, that was not supposed to happen. Oops. You only really use it if you are on the ground. So whenever you're on the ground, you just dash, and whenever you are have to jump, you switch to a shuttle loop. That's basically how it goes. There we go. So right here I have to jump, so into a shuttle loop we go. Awesome. Alright. So this game does require some amount of focus from me, so sometimes I will be a little bit quiet. But the beautiful thing about this game is that when it comes to music, this is probably my favorite Kirby game. It has probably the best soundtrack out of all of them, in my opinion. A great mix of nostalgic music and just new music that just works really well. So halfway into every level, you have these buttons. These are save buttons. They basically heal you up to full, and next time, if we were to quit out, we can go back into this section and keep going. The only issue with it is that you lose all of your points, so for practice it's kind of annoying. You kind of have to learn to do certain things without the use of Metaquick at the start. But that's alright. There we go. So right here, throughout the game, there's these little puzzles to get like chests. Sadly for us, chests in the Meta Nightmare Returns game only really give you level ups. So whenever you get these like directional puzzles, we just usually fill it instantly. Because that's just way faster to do than getting the level up, which takes forever. Right here, we're going to grab the invincibility candy. Now, the cool thing is the invincibility candy both makes us invincible, obviously, and it basically ups our speed to the level of a Metaquick. So it's basically a free Metaquick, including a boss-killing device. And it's really nice. It basically allows us to really stock up on points. Should have way more than I thought usually have, I think. No, I should be fine. To use one here. So right there, what you saw me do, and what I was trying to do, is a Condor dive. Now that's a new move added in the more modern Kirby games. It's like a little, like up-down sideways movement. It's really difficult to explain. It's a very useful move in certain locations. And every now and then you'll see me use it to basically round out some movements. There we go. There we go. That's a good amount of points. So there is a maximum amount of points, as you can see. I have 50 points right now. I can't get more than 50. Ooh. So sometimes you might see me fill a shuttle loop. That's because to activate a shuttle loop, you have to do up, down, no, down, up, and then B. And I'm playing on a D-pad, so sometimes I might fat finger left or right at the same time, or not actually hit the buttons correctly. It's really annoying. So right here, I'm going to show the last power that I haven't explained yet. I think that was too early. This is Meta Nightmares. Meta Nightmares basically deals a lot of damage to the entire screen. Ah, that's fine. Cool. It is 35 points. It's a lot of points compared to the rest. Like, Metaquick is 8 points as a reference. So using it, we're trying to use it very sparingly throughout the run, only when we really need it, and it's really fast. Now, a nice thing whenever you're using Galaxia, Darkness, and Meta Nightmares is that the in-game timer will stop, which makes it really useful for in-game time runs. So right here, we're going to go to our first boss. It's Clanky Woods 2.0. So the reason why it's called 2.0 is because like all the bosses are like upgraded in this game, in this sub game basically. That was the first phase already, just a couple of shuttle loops. And right here we're gonna go into 3D. And just one hit and then a Meta Nightmares. This is to set up for the next phase. So if you'll notice, after this Meta Nightmares, you'll have like a tiny sliver of health. It's literally just one hit from now. This is because the next phase is absolute garbage. So being in there as short as possible is very useful. So we're just gonna fly up here, wait for him to get over, and there we go. That's the boss. And time to drink. Nice. So that was the first one. After every level, you basically get like a list of your bests and what run you just did. And that's kind of nice. That means that you don't really need splits for this, but you know, you could do still. I usually run with RTA and like have it on every button. So on to the next level, we got these little car gimmicks. They basically fly into the screen, and if you get hit, it loses you a lot of time. That's all you really need to know about them. They're annoying. A fun thing about the shuttle loop as well, by the way, is that the way it controls is kind of weird. So like it's inverted controls when it comes to up or down, and then what you'd expect from left and right. So it's really confusing sometimes. There we go. And sometimes you'll see me just veer off in the wrong direction because I'm trying to control it and then just messing up doing it. Another mid-boss. So we're trying to use like our powers against mid-bosses as much as possible because it's just so much faster than actually fighting them. There we go. That was nice. Oh, it's the best I've done that room in a while. So right here, I'm not going to use a meta-quick. That's because we've got a couple of auto-scrollers. Well, we've got one auto-scroller coming up. So during that time, Mies, if you've got anything, feel free to go ahead and read it.
Yeah, sure thing. We would like to thank Rhinabo for sponsoring several prizes for BSG. Rhinabo is a plush maker and game developer who is currently working on Floating Wonderland, a retro-style 2D puzzle platformer that uses gravity to solve puzzles as you progress through several different stages. So yeah, be sure to follow at Floating Wonder on Twitter for updates. And if you want to go more on site speedrunning events, our brothers in the United Kingdom are hosting UKSG Autumn 2022 in Glasgow. It runs the 3rd and 4th September 2022, and they'll be raising money for Crisis. And we would like to remind you that aside from BSG events and their own marathons, ESA hosts many other events across Europe, including British UKSG Hackathon and more. Be sure to drop a follow to see whenever something is live. Also, a reminder to the Bit Wars is we have Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets any percent. We have 100 euros is the goal, and we have 50 euros so far. So if you want to see McGonagall drop down the stairs, yeah, be sure to chip in on that one. Yeah, back to you, Ken.
Thank you. I was actually wrong. I was not an auto-scroller. I get confused about where I am in the game sometimes. But anyway, time for the best music in the game. This is a banger. Couple of corner dives. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? So yeah, if you like good movement, this game is definitely for you. Not by me though. There's a couple of Japanese runners that are absolutely ridiculous in this game mode. I'm about 10 minutes slower than them in in-game time. So yeah. If you want to see ridiculously fast movement throughout this game, that's definitely the best way to go. Wow, I'm getting absolutely murdered here.
Do we have time for a question from chat?
Yeah, sure.
Concerning your PB, is that 5016 IGT? Question mark. What is your current PB on this run?
It should be about that, yeah. If I remember correctly. It's been a while since I PB'd, so last time was during a relay. There we go. That movement can be a little bit tricky because the balls are just flying around everywhere. Oh yeah, another interesting thing, by the way, is I'm playing on the original 3DS rather than the new 3DS. For this game, the new 3DS is just faster in RTA sense. Like, all the loads are faster, you don't have any lag, it's just better. But for this game mode, it doesn't really matter because all the loads get removed anyway. So it's a lot easier to deal with. There we go. Skip the cannon right there because the cannon is slower than a shuttle loop. You've played classic Kirby's, you might remember this music. This is from Kirby 64. Whoops. It does that from time to time, this game. It just sprinkles in like old classics from older games, and I love it. There we go. So these sections, by the way, there's like a little a Game Boy Kirby in the background. And the way you would go through this room casually is you would use it to basically get a bunch of chests and some secrets and stuff like that. But for us, it's basically just to shoot through the entire stage as quickly as possible without any enemies room. That's a mouthful. This is also a classic song, by the way. Oop. Ah, damn, I wanted those points. Oh. I'll just get this one. So there is a point route to this game. I'm not that great at it anymore. I kind of just cobble it together at this point. I know most of the times I need to use stuff and when not to use stuff, but I do sometimes get a little bit confused as to where I should be in the point route. So I just kind of do whatever. Let me think. Yeah, it's a Dubior, isn't it? Yeah. Dubiors are the most annoying enemies to fight because they just warp around all the place. And this one is especially annoying because it does this. It goes to the front of the screen where I cannot attack it. And then usually you use the Meta Nightmares here, but I didn't have enough points, and now it's gone again. It's been a while since I actually had to fight this one. There we go. I'm probably gonna need to heal, don't I? Yeah. Okay. For marathon safety, I'm just gonna heal right here. It's generally like when you're playing any of the Meta Nightmares with heal, healing is not a bad thing, you know, like when you're starting out at the very least. When you're going for like the fastest time, you try not to heal as much as possible, and usually you would never have to. But yeah, if you're starting out, there's no like real shame in healing. Anyway, on to the next boss. This is the Hollow Defense API. It basically makes holographs of bosses, basically older bosses. This was Krakow, and next up we're gonna have the Doomers from Kirby's Adventure Wii if you're European, or Kirby's Return to Dreamland if you're from the US. Bless you. And right here is a very classic one. This is the Ice Dragon, I believe from Kirby's Dream Land 2. So that's a very old game, old boss. Oh my god. And then on to a newer boss, and I'm really happy I have enough points for Meta Nightmares here because that's a one-shot, and otherwise it would be a very long amount of time to be able to kill it. This is the Coily Rattler from Kirby's Triple Deluxe, which is the first 3DS Kirby game, which is also a great game. There we go. Next up, we only need to do one more hit to the Hollow Defense API to kill it. There we go. And that's that boss. It's luckily not a hard one. You just have to have the right amount of points or else Coily Rattler just becomes a bitch. Sorry for language. And on to the next level. There we go. So this is the water level, basically, because every 2D platformer needs a water level. I don't know why, but apparently they do. I'm gonna explain the water movement in a moment. But first, we're gonna go over here, get some more points. And we're gonna use a Meta Nightmares here on this boss. So usually when you're using these abilities, you want to wait until the entire health bar is visible. For Meta Nightmares, you can go a little bit earlier, but it's a kind of a rule of thumb that you can do it like that. For Galaxia Darkness, you actually have to have health in the health bar for it to work. Otherwise, it won't really work that well. You'll just like actually miss with it, which is a big loss of time and points. Oh, come on. This can be a little bit tricky here. Go. Another little nice smooth section over here. There's a lot of these rooms where you're basically like, you just shuttle loop through the entire thing and that's the room. There we go. Oh, get in the door. So now we're getting auto-scrollers. There we go. That's where they were. Let me see which one this is. There's a bunch of auto-scrollers in this game, so I need to kind of distinguish between them because I need to explain something in one of them. And this is not that one. Okay. It's luckily kind of a short one. There we go. So there's another little puzzle bit where it tells you, oh, you need to use this on this and auto-scroller to get through it and get the chest. But we're just going to go and fill it instantly, so it's just easier. Like, we were supposed to grab this star to continue, but we're just going to go into this door here. And then the chest is like, aha, you got nothing. It's like, I didn't want anything anyway. So this auto-scroll is kind of special. We're going to do a little bit of a small skip in here. So right as I land with this star, I'm going to use a Galaxia Darkness. This basically allows me to press two buttons at the same time because they're close enough on the screen. So there was supposed to be a button like right here on the background, but I hit it with the Galaxia Darkness, allowing me to go through this section without having to actually press that button manually. It's kind of nice. Now right here, I charged a sword, so I can do a ranged hit on the button on the left, so I didn't have to wait for it to go to the left. And that gives me these points, which is nice. And then go into the door. So now we got the ice cream level. I don't know why it exists, but it's cute. And Kirby is cute, so. There we go. This room can be a little bit annoying. So as you can probably imagine, all those ice blocks have ice physics, which is just absolutely terrible for going fast. I really don't like them. And then we got a little candy over there. It's actually like that candy is like a hidden kind of thing because you go back onto the foreground. It's actually one thing I haven't explained yet. So in the 3D Kirby games, there's a background, or not in 3D, there's the true 3D now. In the 2.5D Kirby games of the 3DS, you basically have this concept of background and foreground. So certain objects in the background can manipulate the foreground, and you can just travel to the background and foreground using stars. It's a pretty cool concept, and makes for some fun little like secrets and puzzles that you have to complete in the game. For us, it's basically just like, what is faster in what case? Do we have to go to the background? Can we stay to the foreground? Everything can work. So right here, this is truly on the water now. So underwater, the way you move is you just move the D-pad along, and to go faster, you basically just mash A. So that's the little swimming thing that I'm doing. Another useful thing about swimming in this game is that Metaquick does speed it up in all directions. Usually Metaquick only really works in horizontal things, so when you jump, you don't jump higher, you just jump further. But when you're swimming, it works in all directions, so that's kind of nice. Ooh, I do want those points, thank you. Don't know what it is, I always miss that one. So right here, there's like a couple of pipes blocking the background, which is one way to use the background foreground as a kind of level puzzle. And then we're gonna go through these pipes, and it's a little bit boring, so Mies, feel free to plug something.
Yeah, sure thing. We'd like to mention to stay updated with our events by following us on Twitter and Instagram under the handle BSG Marathon. Get a behind-the-scenes look of the event and stay up to date with the latest news on our marathon events and more. We are also in the process of uploading all of our VODs to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/BSG Marathon. Be sure to check that out. Also, if you miss a run, can check out YouTube as mentioned to look VODs back. Also with social media, Instagram, we're currently at the BSG Annual 2022 in Venray, and we are posting on a daily basis all kinds of nice images, memes and pictures on our Instagram page. So yeah, be sure to check that out and give that a follow. Also mentioned the donation incentive. We have Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, any percent, with the goal of 100 euros, sticking on 50 euros as we go. So if you want to see McGonnell drop down the stairs, yeah, be sure to chip in on that to make that a fact. Also, we have a donation in from Ireland sent Izzy from 5 euros. Hi, Kinnin, good luck. I'm proud of you.
Thank you, Annie. That is my wife, by the way.
Okay, nice. Back to you, Kinnin.
Thank you very much. Let's see, where are we? Ah, yeah, we're getting close to our next boss. So that means we got some points. And right here, we're gonna get a mid-boss, and we're just gonna use Meta Nightmares on it. So this should be fine on points. So I'm not 100% sure. Now that I look at the amount of points I have. Oh boy. Oh yeah, no, I'm not fine on points. I should still be able to deal with the next boss just fine. But it might take a little bit longer than I would have liked. So the next boss is Susie. If you want to know who Susie is and whatever, you'd have to play the game. But yeah, she's basically like an associate of the bad boss of the big boss, basically. I can explain the story a little bit in some ways. So she's like one of the mecha drivers. So for the first phase, we just use shuttle loops, and for the second phase, we just have to get close to her, hit her at least 2 times, and then we're just going to use the Meta Nightmares, and we're going to stay close, because with this Meta Nightmares, we should bring Susie all the way down to like a sliver of health. There you go. And in the next phase, she tries to jump around a lot, like through this middle part, which can be really annoying, so we have to kill her before she does that. Or at least kill her mech. Not sure what happened to her. I hope she's fine. Anyway, on to the next level. So these are the same levels that you go through with Kirby, as in it's the same structure. But instead of going from like, you have an overworld and you go from one stage to the next, you basically just have them all chained together. Which is a feature of all Meta Nightmare runs. There we go. So yeah, this is the desert world. In case you haven't noticed yet. Oh, damn. There we go. So you got those little things popping up in the background. We're not really using them right now. We're using them a little bit later. But you can basically, they roll around down a slope, and you can manipulate them by hitting them. Nice, got the points. So right here, the game wants you to like go from background to foreground a bunch. But we can just stay on the background because that's where the door is. So right here, you saw me hit one of those rollers. If you do, they basically just change directions. And in case you're not in the right place at the right time, you just get dumped into the foreground. So right here, for instance, we use it to open a little bit of a point cache right there. Ooh. And then we got some blowers. It's a bit of an annoying room. There we go. Yeah. So those poison clouds do hurt you. You can disperse them using a shuttle loop. But that's, for this stage, is not very important. There we go. Grab some more points. And for the next mid-boss, we're once again going to use a Meta Nightmares. So there is like an RTA route to this. I don't know the RTA route, so I'm just using what I know. I'm probably not even using the best route. I have a tendency to change routes to suit my own little needs. So right here, what I'm trying to do is hit these enemies over and over again while I'm waiting on the background. To get a little bit more points. And we're going to do that again a little bit later on. A little bit less successfully, probably. That one is a little bit difficult to get right. But yeah, points are just very important in this run. So you try to get as many as you can. Oh, come on. There we go. That pipe can be really annoying, so I'm happy I got it first try. Sometimes it takes me like a couple attempts to actually get into that pipe. So here we're going to be fighting against another Dubier. This one is a lot nicer than the other one, though. I missed it, wow. So yeah, that's the one issue with Galaxia Darkness. You can miss it if you're not lining it up properly. But we should still be fine on points and everything. It's just a little bit of time loss for not hitting it. And as you might notice, like my Metaquick just keeps going through these little button sections so you don't lose it, but you do lose a little bit of time with it. So you have to get through quickly. There we go. This one should just be able to be killed with shuttle loops alone. The one thing I'm doing during boss fight shuttle loops is I am using an attack right after doing the loop. This way I skip having to fly around, basically. So right there we have to use the little Game Boy Kirby to be able to continue here. Oh, that's too early. There we go. Oop. There we go. Oh, I didn't have to use the Metaquick here. Actually makes life a lot easier. So right here, we're gonna try and grind off of that enemy. Because you got all these saws in the background doing their thing. No, I can't get one more in. There we go. It's a nice little point grind section. Oop. Oop. There we go. So right here, we actually do want to get rid of the poison air from time to time, so yeah. I'll be using shuttle loops here and there to randomly get rid of them. I'm not sure if other attacks deal with it, but I just know that shuttle loops do, so... Yep. Yeah, other attacks don't deal with it. Yeah, this is fine. There we go. I don't need that. So in this little room, there's a small puzzle, basically, that you have to solve to go through it faster. So right here, this thing, you just hit it, and that way you can get to the end right here. There's like an entire route around it where you go up and down and everything, but that takes too long, so you just hit that one, and you continue on. You do not grab the star there. There's a lot of points on offer here, which is really nice. There we go, full points again. So right here, we actually have so many points that before we get to Bandana D, we actually use a Metaquick. We don't need it just yet, but we just have so many points that we might as well just use it, or else we're wasting points. And we're trying to be as efficient as possible anyway. And it basically allows grabbing those points a lot quicker. So I'm grabbing those points. That was a bad idea. I shouldn't have healed, actually. Hopefully we can get a point in during this boss fight, or otherwise I'm gonna have to take a little bit of a longer time again. So this is Mecha Knight. So they basically, in the game, they took over Meta Knight and mechanized him. So now we gotta show him who's the true Meta Knight. There we go, that's phase 1. I didn't even need to heal. I'm gonna do a couple extra shuttle loops then. So usually I would already be using a Meta Nightmares, but I don't have the points, so I'm not using it until using Galaxia Darkness until now. Should still be fine. Oh, that's not a big time loss at all. That's nice. And that's the end of level 3. Level 4, actually. Wow. I totally forget which level is which. So that's the one thing with this game. It's like, it's pretty long. It feels pretty long because there's just so much you need to remember to do. Anyway, time for the funky part. Top 10 best baselines. Ooh. Probably too many Knighmare dives, but that's fine. Ooh. It happens. Right here, just going straight up. It's a nice thing about Meta Knight, you can just flap up really quickly. You do have to mash the A button for it, which on a 3DS is not the best button to mash, or just mashing in general on a 3DS is not really nice for me. There we go. Anyway, here we go into another circus section. So I got to enjoy my favorite music once again. Right here, I'm basically not using a Meta Quick specifically so that I have enough for a Meta Nightmares right here. I believe like in most runs you actually don't use a Meta Nightmares here at all, but I prefer it because Blocky is a very annoying mid-boss to have to fight. And then we've got these giant billiard balls to deal with. And that's kind of be the theme of this one, just giant balls flying around. Make that of what you will. Ah, I could have gotten 6 points there. Damn. Oh well. So whenever you hit the dice, whatever face it's facing is gonna be the amount of points you get from that die. So there's a strat in like getting certain faces and whatever. I'm not that good at it. It's just better to just get through it. There we go. So once again here, balls will start appearing and you just have to deal with them. There we go. There's a movement to it. It's a little tricky. I try my best to do it every time, but sometimes they're just not working with me. There we go. So this star is actually faster to grab than going through this section. It always felt like it would be slower, but apparently it's just faster. So we're just using it. You just use it now. Oh, right, and it had the shuttle loop here. There we go. So these little death planes that just slowly go from background to foreground just hurt you. They're a little bit annoying. They also destroy certain objects, so whenever you're doing like puzzles, it's important to remember not to have your stuff on there. But for us, it's not very important. We can just fly right over them. Oh, come on. There we go. And on to the next button. Can someone remind me what my estimate was again?
I'm gonna look it up for you. I think it's the estimate is 112.
Okay, okay.
You want to also know your current pace?
I can see it over here. It's 45 minutes.
Okay.
I'm probably not gonna make estimate, but that's fine. I'm still a little bit rougher in this game than I would have liked. I didn't have as much time to de-rust everything to the level that I usually de-rust things, but that's fine. It's good enough to be able to show it. So in case you haven't noticed yet with this train, the gimmick is on the foreground you can just move normally, and on the background it's an auto-scroller. So right here there's a cute little puzzle that it wants you to do, and we're just going to cheese it by charging up our sword and hitting the button from here and going straight back into the transporter. It's kind of nice. Come on, get on there. All right, here we're just gonna go up and fly from side to side. If you start at the right time, there's no way you're ever gonna get hit by those notes, but sometimes you do. And now we got a really, really long auto-scroller. So Mies, take it away.
A really long auto-scroller. Okay, right. So we are the Benelux Speedrun Gathering. We organize bi-monthly gatherings in the Benelux for speedrunners. We're currently streaming our annual event from Hotel Asteria in Venray, the Netherlands. We are raising money for a Mind, which is a nationwide organization committed to prevent mental health issues and to support everyone who is dealing with mental issues themselves or within their families. All of your donations will go to Mind, so be sure to chip in because we have 4 very nice fluffy prizes set up for you. So if you go to the donation page, you can see how they look like, and you need a minimum of 25 euros to compete with that prize, with those prizes. So while you are donating, there's also some bid wars, so donation incentives going on. So you can chip in on that. For example, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. If you want to see McGonagall drop down the stairs, you can chip in on that one. Or maybe you want to chip in on Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. So there's also one run that is coming up. That is with your character choices. You can pick your character. So
Okay.
Back to you, Kenan.
Yes, thank you very much. So right here we're gonna go on to our next boss, which is a pretty cool boss. A lot of people love him. Some people hate him. It is none other than King DDD, but then a clone. Okay, well, fine. So for this first phase, you just hit him until he splits into 3. And then we hit him again until he keeps being in 3. And like for every phase, he just gets smaller and smaller, and they have less health for every phase. Until for the last phase, all we really need to do is do a spin slash. There we go. That is phase 1. And then for the next phase, they have this, weird cannon thing that they operate. Right off the bat, we're going to use a Meta Knighmares to get through like the first phase of this phase, if that makes any sense. There you go. And on this phase, he's going to spawn some bombs. Yeah, I got both bombs. Hell yeah. That is really difficult. I usually never get it. So that's the first time I've gotten it, like, during all my practice. And that is DDD. Oh, that's the best DDD I've done in a while. And right at the end here, as they explode, they turn into DDD. There we go, and now we're on to the final level. Now this level is really long. It consists of 3 buttons rather than the usual 2 buttons. No, 2 buttons rather than 1 button. So it has multiple sections, and it's basically like the heroic part of the journey. It's got some of the best music in the entire game. And it's a lot of fun to go through really quickly. I've got some time to drink, actually. That was a bit weird. There we go. So now we are in the lair of the big enemy that's mechanizing everything. And we're gonna beat him. So turn on the heroic music. So in this room, we're quickly going to stay up here to charge as many points as we can. 46 is alright, because we're going to be using a lot of Meta Knighmares throughout this section. For these enemies, these are the security forces. They take a bunch of hits, and whenever you've killed them, they try to press the self-destruct button. If they do hit the self-destruct button, they don't give you points. So it's very important for me to kill them before they hit the self-destruct button. It also deals a bunch of damage. It's really painful. Yeah, throughout here, I'm trying my best to get as many points as possible. Right here, we get a candy. No, that was bad. Yep. Luckily, candies are super effective on security forces. Who needs a Pepsi when you got candy? And back to the usual music. Yep, this one. So it's important to remember which pipes you need to take during this bit, because otherwise it takes a little bit longer to get through there. So some security forces have a little bit more health than others, and they require you to hit them a couple more times. I didn't hit them enough. If you don't hit them enough, they basically go into their second phase, and they take reduced damage for a little bit, which can be a little bit tricky to deal with. And right here, We got a little bit of a reprieve in the form of an auto-scroller with these lasers. So the interesting part about these lasers is that they are like pointed in different directions in 3D space. If you were used to the 3D option on your 3DS, you could maybe see them properly. I can't. The 3D thing on the 3DS is pretty mediocre for me. Doesn't work all that well. So I just remember where I need to jump, where I need to dash, and where I just can walk right through. And on to the next room. There we go. That was beautiful. So right here, we're gonna have to use our little Kirby bot friend again. And that's about all we need of him. Thank you. Ooh, should not have. Yeah, I should not have used the Metaquick there. Ah, well. So there's a security force at the end here, and I would have liked to have my Metaquick for it. But that's alright. Or my Meta Nightmares for it. So we're just gonna kill it normally. So this is its second phase. It spawns these enemies. It's not too bad to deal with. Oof, almost didn't get it there. There we go. So now I do have a lot of extra points that I usually don't have, which is nice. Oh, I should not have used Metaquick there. What am I doing? I'm just getting confused with the rooms at this point. There's so many rooms to remember. So yeah, here we got like, it's kind of an auto-scroller thing. You just kind of have to wait until the star appears. The puzzle is that you can get those batteries to the background and like get special things. But screw these batteries. They're not really useful for Meta Knight. They're only really for Kirby. A way to get like collectibles or treasures. Right here, I could have gotten a heal, I guess, but it's not really worth it. And another auto-scroller. In this case, there's like a bunch of buttons in the foreground, and we're gonna try and hit all of them. That way we get like a bunch of extra points. Looking at the point count, I'm actually gonna heal. There we go. Had enough points for a heal, so we're using it. Not even sure if it was necessary, now that I think about it. Yeah, well. Marathon setting. There we go. That was, I believe, all the buttons. And then we're going to go to the background. And it's an auto-scroller in the other direction. Like I said, this game likes its auto-scrollers. Points. There we go. Into the door. This room is kind of a weird transitioning room for me. And right here, we're just gonna take these two with us into the security force. See the little Rocky on the right. And into the weird teleporter thing. So this is kind of like a glitch world kind of thing. You see these on the background, you see these like blocks appearing. They basically push forward and lose me a lot of time. That's all you really need to know about them. They're annoying. Oh, I need your points, please. Can I have your points, please? Thank you. And again, this is kind of an auto-scroller. it's the game is infested with them. So I'm kind of mashing down while I'm waiting for them, because the moment it releases, if you double tap down, you basically get like, you fall down quicker. Kind of like in, I believe it's a Smash Brothers thing. Because the makers of Kirby, Hell Laboratory, also make Smash Brothers. So if you ever wondered why Meta Knight was overpowered in Brawl, now you know. Oh, this one needed some collar dives, actually. Oh well. Yeah. There we go. So yeah, I'm not doing too hot on points, so I'm just going through a few of these rooms a bit slowly to make sure I still have enough points to go through. That's kind of how your fortunes can change when it comes to points in this game. At one moment you have too many, the next you have too few. There we go. And I believe this is a button. Yes. Another classic bit of music. So right here I'm skipping a meta quick just to make sure that points are fine. There we go. And now back to a less weird set of music, and back to the heroics. So now we have to get fight against the Holo Defense API again. In a way, Holo Doomers are still as easy as always. But now it's interspersed with little sections of movement. Which I'm once again not using Metaquick for. You're supposed to use it here, but if you have low points, I usually just skip it. I do need to be able to use certain Galaxia Darkness and Meta Nightmares. And like using those is just worth more. And again, the Ice Dragon. There we go. Right here, I need to make sure I have enough points for a Meta Nightmare. Which I do. Lovely. And then we're gonna go against our good old friend, Krakow. I believe like Krakow is in just about every main series Kirby game. Might be that there's like one game that doesn't have Krakow. That's how prevalent it is. It's almost more prevalent than Wispy Woods. At the very least, with Wispy Woods, they still like remix what it is. Nope, never grab that cannon. It is slow. I always almost accidentally grab it. There we go. On to the next bit. So yeah, like I said, I'm already 10 minutes into this level. It's a very long level. This room tends to lag for me a lot because of original 3DS hardware. a little bit annoying. Because this is one of the first games that was designed with the new 3DS in mind. And that does sometimes trip me up. It actually like makes it so I don't really want to run regular any percent that much. Because the time difference is just too large. It's like in the order of like 20 minutes or something at the end. Go. A little underwater section again. So yeah, this is basically just like a big... this is everything you've done during the game. Get in there. Also a pretty cool remix of Knighmare from Nightmare in Dreamland. Or Kirby's Adventure if you prefer that, of course. There we go. And this is old school NES music. Or SNES music, my bad. This is Kirby Superstar. Or the way better version of it, Kirby Superstar Ultra. Totally not biased. So a cool thing about this auto-scroller is that in a moment, a little bit later, I'll point it out, there's like a carbon copy of a Kirby Superstar slash Ultra stage. With a different auto-scroller, basically. It's almost exactly the same in every block placement and everything. It's really cool. When I first played this game and I saw it, I just instantly noticed it. Begins right here. And the music is actually the correct music as well. So all these blocks that you're seeing right now, all the placement of the enemies and everything is completely accurate with the original in Revenge of Meta Knight. It's pretty cool. Anyway, back to this bit. A little bit of damage, and then we're gonna do a Meta Nightmares to make sure it's dead. Yeah, need one more hit. Oop. For this bonkers, we need to do a little bit more damage up front. Just doing this one to make sure I know how much I need. You can kill it before it goes to the background, but sometimes you just don't get lucky. I am waiting for the points here. It looks a little bit slow, but it's worth it because we're getting near the end of this level. Oh, lacking 1 point, I believe. No, I'm fine. Got another Clanky Woods chase scene over here. So we want to kill this one because if you kill Clanky Woods here, it unlocks the screen for you. There we go. And we can just go straight to the right. And now we get to the final bosses section of the game. This game has like multiple final bosses. It's especially in this game mode, it gets a little bit silly. But we'll get to each boss when we do. Ooh, love the Dutch angle. So right here is a fun little difference with RTA and IGT. I'm gonna skip this cutscene. In IGT, you don't skip the cutscene because you can see the timer running right now. And in the cutscene, it opens the door already. So it saves like 2 or 3 seconds not to skip that cutscene. That's the only RTA and the IGT difference I know of. So this is the big boss who has been turning the world into technology. He's very annoying. President Holtman. Oh yeah, for the first phase, we just use a Meta Nightmares. He's a little bit too much trouble to really get otherwise. The second phase turns into a flat 2D plane. And we're just gonna fight him normally. There we go. And then we're gonna go back into the circle. So I would like to hit these things that are falling down, because if you can destroy them, I believe they do give points. And now he's going to show how much money he has by covering our screen with it. Yeah, so Holtman can be really annoying to fight if you don't kill him in time. And I don't have enough points here, that sucks. So yeah, this phase is the worst phase because he's gonna go into the cube. So yeah. You can skip this one. I haven't really been able to do it properly. I believe I'm misremembering how to fight this boss sometimes. Oh, come on, Holtman. Be nice to me. Holtman is not being nice to me. There we go, that was Holtman. So Holtman has been using one of the galactic novas, if you know, you know, to make his wishes come true. But now we're at the galactic nova. So we're gonna ask the galactic nova to bring us the strongest swordsman in the universe to fight and prove that we are the strongest swordsman in the universe. So the first one is the Dark Matter clone. This is a Kirby's Dream Land 2 boss. And we also have the classic music playing for it. There we go, that was phase 1. Actually in a terrible position for phase 2. There we go, and in this phase we're gonna go. There we go. That's another cool thing with the shuttle loop. You can just really quickly go from one end to the other end of the stage. And that was the Dark Matter clone. And on to the next swordsman. This is going to be Queen Sectonia from Kirby's Triple Deluxe. So yeah, because this is... There we go. There we go. That was a little bit slow. That was the first phase. On to the next one. This phase, she's gonna appear behind me every time. Except for this time. Now we're gonna go over here. Oh, I died. Oh no, that's an issue. We're gonna have to do the entire fight again. I was taking a lot of hits during Dark Matter. I usually don't want to take this many. So it looks like I'm gonna have to fight Holtman and Dark Matter again from this very start. Luckily, I don't have to do that. The game does put you straight into the boss you died to. So that's a nice thing about the game. But we do have to go through in this entire section. At least I believe so. Yep, there we go. Side always. There we go. Back to the second phase. Yeah, messed that one up a bit. So yeah, that was what's supposed to happen, where I don't actually get hit by the giant attack. And there we go, that was Sictonia. And now Galactic Nova is going to summon the true greatest swordsman of the universe, who was sealed away for fear his power was too great. It's the one, the only, Galactonite! So it's called Galactonite Returns because we have fought him in Meta Knighmare Ultra. And now he's back for revenge because we absolutely kicked his ass there. And we're gonna do it again. First phase is just trying to get him down a peg. There we go, that was first phase. For right before he starts the second phase, however, we're gonna do a quick Meta Nightmares to deal a bunch of damage to him before he even gets to do anything in his second phase. And here, I'm trying to get him to die right before doing a very annoying attack that loses a lot of time. This attack, and there we go! That's the game. That's time as well, by the way. Sorry about that. And that is Meta Knighmare Ultra. The death at Sictonia was a little bit iffy. I might have been able to get a little bit closer to estimate otherwise, but yeah. So once again, Galactonites get sealed, and we have once again proven that Meta Knight is the true greatest swordsman in the universe. And we're gonna check out what the in-game time is. And you can see my PB at the bottom there. 6 minutes slower. Oh well, it is what it is. Big shout out to the Kirby community. Y'all are cute as hell, and there's like a lot of Kirby games you can play still, and this one is actually kind of dead in a way, but that's fine. And without much further ado, thank you again for BSG for having me, and I'll be back a couple more times during this marathon, and I'll see you guys later.
Thank you so much, Kinnin, for that awesome run. Right, next run coming up are the VS the World Super Mario Advance Super Mario Bros. But before we're gonna do that, we're gonna reset the stream. So we're going to be down for a few seconds. So please stick around for more runs, and we'll be right back.